beings with dark solid eyes. Ronald wakes up early at 5 in the morning. He owns a landscape company. Every morning he has the same procedure. He turns on his radio and loves to hear country music. He is 55 years old but still in good form. After the morning toilet, he is brewing his coffee. He has for breakfast scrambled eggs, sausages, and toast. He enjoys his breakfast and is listening to the radio. His wife Sally is still asleep. She goes up later in the morning. She is doing the office work and the customer service. After Ronald ate breakfast, he is doing the breakfast for his wife too. She gets waffles with fruits and a scoop of vanilla cream ice and a cappuccino. With a tray, he is bringing breakfast to her bed. "Good morning, my sunshine," he says to her. Still sleepy, she says good morning to him too. She looks very happy about the breakfast and enjoys it. Ronald goes back to the kitchen to finish his coffee and get ready for work. They are living in a beautiful village in a valley that surrounds mountains, and in the middle is a beautiful lake. The village calls Blue Lake Town and the lake calls Blue Lake. In the summer many tourists are coming for hiking and to swim in the lake, and in the winter the village is a ski paradise. The mountains have lifts everywhere. Blue Lake Town lives from the tourist. There is a beautiful hotel by the lake and many residents are renting apartments with breakfast to the tourists. This valley is a pearl in the mountains, but it is only reachable through a pass over the mountains. Blue Lake Town is so popular that the construction management from the city hall planned to build an underpass through the mountains. The project started a year ago. It will be finished in 5 years. Ronald drinks his coffee and listens to the news on the radio. The top news is that they had to stop the construction of the underpass because the workers found a tunnel system in the mountain, and the geological department wants to research the tunnels before they continue to build the underpass. Ronald has 5 customers today, but his first job is at the neighbor's house. An old lady is living there. Her name is Brenda. She is very nice. She has no money, but she always is baking cake and cookies and share it with her neighbors. Ronald loves Brenda. She reminds him of his grandmother. He helps her with everything that she needs. Today he cuts her lawn. He is doing it for free because she is a good heart. Sometimes he goes to the supermarket or is bringing her to the doctor. He enables help whenever he can, and always he gets cake or cookies from her. When Ronald has a barbecue, he always invites Brenda too. Brenda is like family to him. He is looking forward to seeing her. She always says, "Hello son, how are you doing today? I have something for your sweet tooth later." He is changing now into his working clothes and goes outside to check his equipment. He is checking if the machines have fuel, the edger blade, and the line in the line trimmer. Every morning before he starts he is checking. It saves him a lot of time. He takes the edger and goes to Brenda's house and starts edging the lawn by the sidewalk and the driveway from Brenda's house. After this, he is using the blower and cleans up all the leaves from her flower beds in the backyard. He is working very particular to get everything cleaned up. Now he is taking his stranded mower with 36 inches cutting wide. It goes very fast with this machine. Now he is doing the last areas with the line trimmer and blowing the grass cuts and remaining leaves together. He is picking up the leaves in a trash bag, and Brenda comes out and says, "Good morning son. Thank you so much. I have some cookies for your sweet tooth here. By the way, I make an apple cake later. Come after work and get it, sweetheart." "Thank you Brenda, I will. See you later then. Bye." He takes the cookies and walks back to his house. He has to go now to the next customer. On his way, he is enjoying the cookies from Brenda. Brenda starts cleaning her house. She wants to get everything clean before she starts making the apple cake. The apples are coming from her garden. She has apple trees, cherry trees, peach trees, also plum trees, strawberries, and vegetables. She is planting everything of her own. Ronald helps her to cut the trees and harvest for her the fruits. Brenda goes to the refrigerator. Inside is the dough that she made yesterday. She takes a cake form and covers it with a baking oil spray. Now she takes the dough and massages it until it has a good consistency. She presses the dough now in the form, and after this, she put the form in the oven for a little bit until the dough starts getting brown. She takes it out and starts making a vanilla cream to put on the cake crust. She peels the apples and cuts those into pieces. After she puts vanilla cream on the cake crust, she starts filling up the cake with the apple pieces. Now she takes the rest of the dough, made it flat, and cuts stripes and puts this over across on the cake. The cake is ready to get baked in the oven. Brenda puts it into the oven and is waiting by watching TV. She loves the smell of apple cake in her house. The cake is done. She takes it out of the oven and lets it cool down. Then someone is knocking on her door. Brenda thinks it is too early. Ronald has supposed to be still working. She takes her smartphone and watches the doorbell camera. There are standing two children. Their head is covered with a hood. The two children are saying, "Please let us in. We are hungry." Brenda thinks, this poor child's. Thank God I have cookies, cake, and milk. Brenda is going to the door to help with these children. Ronald is working hard today. He has to cut bushes and trees down by a customer. Today is a hot day and he is looking forward to Brenda's cake. She always bakes with love and no one can make the cake so good as her. He is loading the tree and the bush cuts up in his trailer. After he is done, he brings the trash to a trash place to dump it there. He was working on this job for more than 5 hours. But for this, he earns a lot of money. After he dumped everything, he is on his way home to get a shower, and then he will go over there to Brenda to have coffee and cake. After the shower, he is happy to get everything done today. He says to his wife, "Hey Sally, let's go to Brenda. She has a cake for us. This lady is so nice." "God bless her," replies Sally and gets ready to go to Brenda. Both are standing at her house. But something is wrong. The door is wide open and many flies are buzzing around. They smell the sweet rot smell of death. Ronald is calling the sheriff. Both are in shock. What happened to this nice old lady? Before I continue, please don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Hit the bell to get news about new posts. I wish you a great time with my story. Sheriff John Palmer has an easy shop in Blue Lake Town. He only has drunken tourists or car accidents in his area. The last homicide is over 30 years away. In that case, a drunken farmer shot his wife because he thought it is a bear. As Ronald called, he got a stomach ache. He called the detective from the homicide department in the capital city of his landscape, and also he calls a doctor to the crime scene. The doctor will be there in half hour, but the detective needs 2 hours to reach the crime scene. The detective tells the sheriff to wear foot and hand covers and doesn't move anything. He is coming with a forensic team. Sheriff Palmer is reaching Brenda's house. Ronald and Sally are waiting for him outside. The sheriff asks them if they touched something. Both say no. The sheriff is taping up the area around Brenda's house. The doctor arrives and goes with gloves and foot covers together with Sheriff Palmer into Brenda's house. Both are seeing a creepy place. Blood and feces are all over the floor and walls. Flies and other insects are buzzing around. A hand with a bite mark is laying on the floor next to the innards, which are ripped out of Brenda. But her body is missing. A bloodline to the back door shows that the rest cut pulled out to the backyard. The sheriff runs out to the front and starts vomiting. Ronald asks John, "Are you okay?" "No." He answers, "Brenda got slaughtered. Her whole body is missing, only a hand, and some innards are there. It looks like she got killed by a bear. But there are cameras inside." I called a detective from the homicide department. He is on his way with a forensic team. They are checking the cameras and everything in the house. We will find out what happened. God damn, what for a mess. Sheriff Palmer starts vomiting again. The doctor comes out. He looks sick too and says, "Don't go in, I can do nothing, but Brenda is dead for sure. We have to wait for the forensic team." Me and Sheriff Palmer, we check now if her body is in the backyard. Both are going to the back. Brenda's backyard has no fence. The forest starts right after her garden. John Palmer and the doctor are recognized that the grinding marks from Brenda's body are going into the forest in the direction where the underpass get built. The underpass is a mile away. Sheriff Palmer says we have to organize helpers so we can find Brenda or the rest from her. The doctor agrees yes, but let us go back and wait for the forensic team. I think Ronald can help us finding her body with us later. I ask him, says Sheriff Palmer. Ronald agrees as the sheriff asks him. The detective and the forensic team are arriving now. They found foot and handprints from children, even particles from limestone are on the floor. A camera analyst is looking to the recording and calls everybody. On the recording shows two kids covers with a hoodie. They are saying, please let us in. We are hungry. Brenda is opening the door. She said, come in sweethearts, I have cookies for you. Who are your parents? I call them to pick you up. The indoor camera shows how the kids are coming in. Brenda wants to close the door. In this moment the kids are taking the hoodies away. They have no hairs and the skull is going to length. The eyes are dark and solid. Those aren't kids, these creatures are looking like aliens. Brenda is scared and starts screaming. But she has no chance to run away. One being is holding her and the other one is lifting the hand. Likewise a cat, its claws are coming out. The recording shows how the creatures are ripping off her body and start eating on her alive. It is a creeping dead. One creature is biting up her hand with its razor-sharp teeth. After a while the beings are pulling her body out of the back door. The back door camera shows how they are disappearing into the forest. Everybody is quit until Sheriff Palmer says, me and Ronald, we are going now to find her body. Who wants to help us? I will get my rifle and I give Ronald my gun. By God, I will find and eliminate those beasts. The detective says, I think you need my help. All three are getting ready now to go into the forest to find Brenda's body and the creatures. Detective Hampton has seen a lot of homicide, but this here is a case for the FBI. It has something to do with paranormal activity and the FBI has experts for this. Before he is going into the forest to find the rest from the old lady, he makes a call to the FBI department. Sheriff Palmer, Ronald, and Detective Hampton are going now into the forest. Detective Hampton says, Sheriff Palmer, I let you know that I called the FBI. This case is too high for us. I understand, Detective. I agree and I am relieved that the FBI is taking over. We only go into the forest to find the corpse from Brenda. When it is too dangerous we stop and going back, says Sheriff Palmer. The forest is very dark, and thanks to the flashlights they can follow the traces. They are going deeper into the forest. They have to jump over a little mountain stream, climb up some rocks, and they are going into a pine tree forest. All three stopped and are looking at two beings who have eaten Brenda. The rest of her is laying under a tree. The creatures have small bodies with enormous heads on them. Their huge dark solid eyes stare at the three humans. They are shrieking and run away. Sheriff Palmer, Ronald, and Detective Hampton are following them. They are reaching the construction site for the underpass and see the creatures running into the tunnel. Detective Hampton says, stop. We have to wait for the FBI. We know now where they are coming from. Okay, Detective, I sent some deputies to take care of Brenda's body. Ronald, thanks for your help. Let's go back, says Sheriff Palmer. Ronald says nothing. He wants to run into the underpass to kill these beings. Brenda was like family to him, but he knows it is better to wait for the experts from the FBI. Detective Hampton sends his report from the case to the FBI, including the creatures and the tunnel system found inside the underpass. The FBI sends some special agents with equipment for the tunnel expedition to find the beings. The next day the agents arrive, and they talk to the sheriff, Ronald, and the detective. The sheriff guides them to the construction site from the underpass. The agents build a camp and seal the entrance to the tunnel with a sluice. Later they found out that the tunnels are endless and went deeper under the earth. They have some footprints from the beings, but they couldn't find them. The tunnel system is like a maze. They walked hundreds of miles inside after they stopped the mission. The end is that they destroy the entrance to the tunnel system and seal it with steel and a lot of cement. The beings weren't seen anymore around Blue Lake Town, but from other cities in the United States and in Canada are rumors from children with dark solid eyes. They walk around the streets and knock on doors. They say, "Let us in. We are hungry." Whoever lets them in is losing the soul. End of the story.